Home Assistant's first release of 2025 is here, with 2025.1 arriving in January. The big new feature this month is better backups, which is a nice peace of mind update. But we also see a variety of welcomed improvements following the month of what the heck in December. I'll cover all the big updates so you know what to expect and how your smart home may benefit. Just remember that I'm testing the beta release, so it's possible that the final release may look a little bit different. So let's just dive right in and see how it looks in 2025.1, starting with backups. If you go to Settings in Home Assistant, System, and then Backups, here you'll see a new UI for setting up your backups. This is what you'll see the first time before you get started. And go ahead and click Set Up Backups. We'll hit Next. So here you want to be sure to save this encryption key and download the emergency kit. Previously, it was optional if you wanted to password protect your backups. Now they're making it mandatory to have each of your backups be encrypted for security reasons. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this, my encryption key, and download this. So now we can go ahead and hit Next. And you can use the recommended settings for the backup, or you can do your custom settings just so you can see what it is. Within custom, you choose when and how often you want your backups to run and how many backups to keep in order to save space on your drive. I'm going to keep the recommended settings for now. And there you can choose what data gets backed up, including your media files, any shared folders that you have, or any add-ons. I'm going to again leave these default settings. And it just says this is the location that it will use to upload the automatic backups. So hit Save and Create Backup. And you can see it was already created. The next automatic backup is tomorrow at 4:45 a.m. So it's pretty quick and easy to set up those automated backups. But what else should you know about backups? Well, as it says in the release, they're not only automated on the schedule that you want, but they are encrypted by default, as I mentioned, to keep them secure. And if you are a Nabu Casa subscriber, you can even have your backup stored in the Home Assistant cloud, so there's an off-site location for your backups. Additionally, they are meant to be extendable, which just means that future integrations will have it so it's possible to easily create backup locations in places like a NAS or Google Drive or Backblaze, for example. I've actually already been using a Google Drive integration for backing up my Home Assistant, and I'll just show what that looks like. Here, going back to the 2024.12, I have this Google Drive integration here where I back up and save the 5 most recent versions of my setup, and that 5th one gets deleted whenever a new backup is made. And I also have these stored in a NAS separately. But with 2025.1, it makes all this easier than ever to just get going with automating your backups. But it's not just about backups. The month of What the Heck that came out in December was a chance for the community to voice any feature improvements that they want to see. And we see a number of those things are already being implemented here in the first release of 2025. A few things include when you create an automation, now you can be prompted to add a category and label at the start versus having to do that kind of after the fact. Additionally, there's a quick way to access all of your devices. So if I just go to my Home Assistant here and I click the D key, now I can just search all the devices on this system. Nice quick way to get to that. Additionally, you can now pan and zoom on history graphs. So to show what this looks like, if I go back here, and let's just, for an example, we'll look at my iPhone steps. If I hold down the Command key on a Mac and then use the scroll wheel, I can change the view perspective of this history graph. Again, just a nice kind of quality of life improvement there for those who spend much time in history graphs. Aside from that, it's now easier to control, have all of your entities exposed to assist by default, as opposed to having to go back in and check one by one which ones are exposed and which ones are not to assist. So that's a nice update that we see there. Additionally, on your energy dashboard, if you use that, you can now easily just click and drag to reorder items on that dashboard. But a couple of things that I would highlight here. One is noteworthy improvements. SwitchBot water leak detector and pan tilt features for TP-Link have now been added to existing integrations, so I think that's a really nice benefit right there. Another nice touch is the tile card now lets you slide the volume control on a media entity, kind of like you could previously with a light card and adjusting the brightness of a light. So that's a nice addition right there. There aren't too many backward incompatible changes for this month, but of course, be sure to check that list to see if anything there may affect the setup that you have. So that's what you can expect with the Home Assistant 2025.1 release in January. I'm glad to see they're making it even easier to set up and automate your backups. Let me know in the comments what features you're glad to see or others that you wish would be added. Give this video a like if you found it helpful, and subscribe to the channel for tech reviews and tutorials that help you become more productive. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.